not.
Going at number 4, Valencia again, been all over the place. Going for any. Valencia is there again, back the middle. Evan Bayless regains possession as he looks to spark the breakaway. Through ball playing in for Tommy Kurz, who quite track it down. Moss will grab it with his gloves and play.
Playing it up. Alright, Marset. Playing it up as Alex Wolf.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dunning Stadium here in New Canaan, Connecticut. It's time for FCIAC boys soccer. It's the playoff. The first round is New Canaan and Stamford, the Black 4-5 up this FCIAC West, the newly created division. The game was actually supposed to be at Stamford, but due to the fact that here at New Canaan, this game is underway. We apologize for technical difficulties. Certainly, we are experiencing difficulties. So it's just the two of us right now. A little bit of the radio broadcast act. About 8 minutes to this one, no score. Black Rams. These teams met exactly 5 nights ago here at Dunning. Stamford got a 2-0 win, only match this year, to go all the way back to the beginning of the season, which was just over a month ago. Crazy how the season barely started, and here we are already in the playoffs. Stamford actually and Westhill both at the 2-week quarantine, so they played only 8 to everyone else. Stamford holding on to possession. And a shot, and he scores! An unbelievable shot from range. It's number 4, Luke Goncalves, the senior, with a strike from about 25 yards out, caught Alex Walter off guard and caught everyone off guard.
Beautiful shot, off right, out, up, crawling in the air, trying to get a start to ball up. Canaan up until this was really in control. Staying off.
Stamford leads 1-0 early in this one. Have possession again on this left-hand side. It's Goncalves again. There are actually 3 of the brothers on this, Josh, Luke, and Logan. Josh and Luke, numbers 3 and 4, are twins. Luke, Logan's just here behind Junior. going for New Canaan, already down 1 early. Canaan won their last game just 2 nights ago against West Hill. 3-1 was the final there. Jack Bannon had 1, and Tommy Kurz had the other 2. As Canaan looks to build confidence in the young squad, but right now are not doing it much success. The Stamford already has the lead. Evan Bayless up in midfield. One back by Atencia. Bayless wins it back there, looking to play a through ball to Tommy Kurz Jr. for 2 wonderful goals against West Hill. And Brino skipped it up, also looking for Kurz. Stanford doing well at the back so far. Thomas Bosman is let go out for a New Canaan throw. It's a 4-4-2 formation here, Cole. Canaan, what do you expect? Building confidence after that win.
With that shot, strong. Week.
Stanford with possession. New Canaan attack third, but Tyler Timlin wins back. Only do as far as Stanford, and a shot from range is actually forced Walter tip it over the bar, as it will be corner kick to Stanford here. Just over 10 minutes gone in this first half.
Actually, their goal, as well as this shot, dealt.
Certainly hasn't been easy for the game thus far, and it hasn't been an easy season for them either. 3-6 on the corner, comes in looking for a header. Bayless wins it. Stanford holds on to possession. Atencia plays it along the left side, asking for a cross. Stanford, they're not going to get one immediately. Holds on to possession.
To look, wriggle his way through, find senior Christian Ramona, sorry.
Going possession currently is Stanford as they look for a shot from Ramona, but Irving Dorman, the sophomore, plays it all the way back. Goalie on the other side, Tomas.
Low drift shot cleared out. Still clearance. Ball.
Brand new FCIAC West Division this year, obviously due to COVID protocols, as Tommy Kurz goes in for a foul. Tomas was waiting to pick that ball up. Kurz will be shown a yellow card as Tomas is still down. Stanford crowd, which traveled to Canaan, but this technically is a away game, but they are the better seed. I guess they are technically the home. Dunning is the host. Tomas gets back up, gets a high five. He'll be okay. Brand new FCIAC West. Greenwich 10-1. They finished 10-1. Darien was number 2 at 5-3-3, good for 8 points. Westville was third with 15. And there's Stamford with 12. Canaan with 10 is 4-5 up. First technically play downs. One might add. Bosman looking in the ball on the left side. That's Jake Bosman's younger brother.
Westville's also. Sorry, FCIAC West. Westville, sorry, right back throwing out off by large falling black.
Granted, the number 1 FCIAC West. The winner of this game will get to travel to play them. Greenwich heavily favored in. Darien and Westville will play on Friday. That is semifinals place. The FCIAC a couple days ago that they're really trying to get this over with quickly. Not going to be state playoff. It's just a regional playoff.
Quick throw here on the close side of the field. Jack plays wide. Brennan, sorry.
Taking it will be number 4, Luke Goncalves, who scored that wonderful goal from 25 yards out to get lead. He throws it in. Unexpected with Stanford. Tommy Kurz could come away with it. Has Bayless to his left. still waiting for a pass, finally plays it, but Bayless going to have to go retrieve that and look to get around the Stanford back four unsuccessfully. Stanford come back out. The touch there goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in at the field.
Very long ball played back.
Moss got the clean sheet in the game that Stamford and New Canaan played their only match. Yeah, that was here Friday night at Dunning. Goals from Leon Intencia, who's called, and Edward Udalevich. Stanford in what was sloppy first half, but those two goals came in the second to help them to win.
Okay. 45 yards.
The Irving Dorman, who will set under it, got one of the bigger legs.
Dorman kick as far up.
This one wasn't as successful, and it will go out. Goal kick. Let's play it.
Now our video is live. The Luke Foster ball.
Apologies again for the inconvenience technical difficulties, but we are back up and running. So Stanford, away white uniforms, moving from your right to left, Canaan in the home red. Left, right, Moss kicks it out. Headed by Catlin, Doyle Catlin, the senior captain. Bayless takes it away, looking to create something here for Canaan. Couldn't quite find the ball beneath his feet. Crosby does. Plays on this right-hand side to Henry Lindbergh, the other co-captain. Wins a throw.
Yeah, had to try to slide back the track off.
Catlin looks at it forward, but it will go behind for a corner kick. First round action, FCIAC West playoff. I believe it just October the 1st, barely over a month ago, where we began this regular season. Suddenly, they're already in playoff. 2 days ago, finished off the regular season. Off the crash. Corner comes in, look for a shot, but it comes back, and another shot. Nick Lambrino sails well high.
Either does.
After what Stanford just did a couple minutes ago, scoring about 25 yards out, you got to give it a go. That's the goal. Already hit the crossbar, and look, get more.
Again, first the game.
Throw in for New Canaan's attention and knocked it out. Stanford is first-year head coach Mike Summer at the helm. Said with this, they could win 7 or 8 games this year, had high expectations, but they ended up only playing 8. They only won 3 of them. 3, 2, and 3. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws. The Intencia goes down. Crowd shouting for a foul. They'll get that, but more. Playing it quickly was Intencia. Kukan Galvis.
One Catlin wins it back. Held back. Sorry, Nuke.
Irving Dorman. You can't wing this. Bayless thinking about going short, but instead sends it in long. Man down here for Stanford. Doyle Catlin gets a shot off, and it's just high. Through the upright, but that's the wrong football we're talking about here. Another shot that is inaccurate. Moss still hasn't tested all that much. Haas goal kick here. We approach the halfway point, half number 1, with Stamford already up 1-0. Back to the Black Knight here as Goncalves goes down and will be a foul. That's Luke, the senior, the goal scorer. Down his goal, Catlin. Still party there.
Okay, so on the side, volley. Okay. Third, 7, 3, 11, and 4, 2, 4. Back balls. Stanford back. Playing it. South. Off. Look. Find one. All out. Our left side. Out.
Header is there, and Tommy Kerr's looking to bring it down with a shot. Do so. Players looking for a corner. Goal that's on Calvis. Third for 2 lovely goals. West Hill, and that goes here Dunning. Been quite good for the game. Lambrinos has Lindbergh to his right, finds him, was looking to deliver in across, sends one all the way across. Pause. Cut out against Stamford. Done well after the goal. Pulling the possession. Did really great job and probably what was the best here. West Hill. But other than that, struggle for the Rams this year. Look at those 3 wins. They West Hill 3-1. They White Tech 8-1 and 7. But other than that, they scored 1 goal outside of those. Second game of the year, Gary N. Lindbergh scored a wonderful goal about 20 yards out. Going here for the header was one out originally in a bicycle left. Jake Boss off. Finds the boy. Sends along a big booming kick. Dorman does well. Bring it up way to Timlin, who's clearance not a great one, and Stanford could be in here. Great job by Jack. Again, holding on to possession. Josh Goncalves, far side, playing it through ball, but offside. Stanford, last year they went 7-8-1, lost first on McMahon, 5-8 qualifier, the state playoff, the FCIAC past couple weeks, but for sure there was some sort of postseason talk to get that winner go home. by any imagination. This one already playing from behind are the Rams. For them, unfortunately, been a common theme throughout the year. Really have failed to grab goals, early goals. They're struggled against. They're certainly a team that does not give up. They will play to the final whistle. With Bayless playing it to Catlin, who goes down. Ref says no foul. Play continues as Stanford holds on to it. A ball over the top to a sophomore, but he was never getting there.
Ball right at. That spot happened.
Plenty of turnover to this one as nerves may be playing a factor in this playoff game. A shot from distance. Walter plays it on a bounce. That was from number 21, David Lope. Sophomore already has a goal. His sophomore was easy for Walter. Obviously, the only goal in this one came from just about that range. Walter was expecting a wonderful rising shot into the top corner.
Feeling ball, but
wonderful short pass. Stanford, they win the foul.
Already hard challenge. Goal took time and ball.
Burge was a fan of that. John Calvis looking to keep it in. He's done so, but Lindbergh was right there. Played along his right-hand side. He's beaten two Black Knights. Still going. Plenty of space, being able to run it down was the right back. Pardon me, the left back. Ref said there was no foul there.
Great tackle, 11-0.
Stanford holding possession now, trying to play a ball over the top. Ball's got a slight head on it, but it's Atencia here. Does well to get around him. Cross coming in over the head of everybody, and we'll go goal kick. Probably against the technical difficulty in this one. Stanford Black Knights and New Canaan Rams here. First round of FCIAC play. Teams only met once this year due to the quarantine that Stanford underwent beginning of the season. Stanford won that 2-0 Friday, October 30th, 5 days ago. Canaan finished 5th in the 6th division with 10 points, 3 wins and a draw, while Stanford just above them with 12 points, 3 wins, 3 draws, and 2 less.
Back by Atencia. Back far side. Out. Foul.
A lot of soft juniors. That's why they struggled in the past under Luke. High cross looking for a header. Couldn't quite the first one couldn't come up, and then another volley. Ball was way over his head, but ended up going over Walter's head as well.
2 years ago when these are block still pulling their program. Good.
Luke Green has racked up just 6 wins in 3 years. Let's pause that for a second. Atencia once again winning the ball and doing well as he's swarmed by red jerseys, and then Walter comes out, and the angle was never easy for the sophomore. Got it wide. That ball rolls all the way down, out of bounds. The corner flag is walking to go retrieve it. Nice job there for the junior goalkeeper to come out and make sure the angle was never easy.
Side. Oh. Very skilled.
Controls it once again in this New Canaan half. Quick short pass. New Canaan did not have possession for the majority of this. Stanford's done a great job in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Canaan looked dangerous in their offense. Get a throw in.
But out. Stanford throw in.
Throwing went off Bayless's head, was a little bit behind him. He couldn't quite see it. Stanford slowing it down as back approaching the 5-minute mark of the first half. Canaan, Stamford for the right to play the top seed Greenwich semifinals of this FCIAC West. They're only playing in their pod playoff as well.
Playoff. As going. Tommy. Sorry, Bill Catlin, the senior.
They also go talking with Tyler Tillman to see who will take this. They get word from Coach Luke Green. New Canaan has struggled in the normal FCIAC, finishing 8th out of 9 2 years ago, and then last year finishing 7th in the FCIAC East. There's certainly been a struggle for a new program. A header along and Fanning could not quite get a boot to it. That's basically how we scored that goal 2 nights ago. Instead, it was a header, but couldn't quite get a shoelace on that one, and Tomas is there.
Good opportunity for New Canaan again, who hit the crossbar early in the game.
We apologize for the audio issues as well, but I guess that has been fixed up. So now it looks like we got a clear camera, clear audio, and we're ready to go. All good here with 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. New Canaan this year has certainly struggled other than those 2 games against Wright Tech. Their total goal differential is actually +1 despite their losing record. They've scored 19 goals and they've only given up 18, but when you think about it, 15 goals of the 19 were scored against Wright Tech. And for Stanford, they scored many goals. They scored 27 goals, but they've given up 32, -5 goal differential. But that's been New Canaan's kind of MO the whole year. If they can score goals and they can apply pressure, they can hold on to the ball and win, but they just haven't been able to do that. The Black Knights have done well, making sure that there aren't too many opportunities, but let's see how many New Canaan can get here as this first half winds down.
They have been playing some tough teams this year, New Canaan and Stanford, both facing Greenwich, who's leading the FCIAC West Division 9-1.
It scored 20. Against Darien a couple of days ago as they put in a bunch of their reserve.
Free kick here by Evan Bayless on the coast.
Five-man wall is skipped in, looking for shot.
Defender Jack Bannon, who is quite a tall target and skilled with his head in terms of headers and aerial shots this year. As talked about earlier from Austin, he scored 1 header in the last game.
Another chance for New Canaan. Tomas is there. New Canaan looking to win it back again, as it's Catlin who's been playing in this midfield and attacking midfield along to Lindbergh, one of the 2 strikers. Gets it back here and could have a shot here. His shot is in! How about that? Henry Lindbergh off of the turnover.
with a right-footed effort off the inside of the post and in, and New Canaan is level.
Key defensive error from Stamford as Henry Limerick capitalizes on it, adding to the goal tally for this year. Certainly a clinical finish there, necessary in keeping the game as just under 2 minutes until the first half. Something New Canaan will love going into the half level after down for approximately 20.
New Canaan is level. It's Henry Lindbergh who gets his 5th goal of his senior year, who was nominated as Ram of the Week a couple weeks ago, for his effort against Right Tech. He's on the score sheet, and New Canaan is level, a huge goal in terms of momentum. Just under a minute now in this first half. 1-1 now. New Canaan is level. Certainly they're playing with that confidence. That energy is back. The press has been there, certainly from the Rams, something they've changed over the course of this year. Certainly not easy, not made it easy for their opponents at the back. Atencia looking to advance down the near side, but Jack Fannin gets it out for a throw-in. Thomas Boston plays it along for Tommy Kurza, who can win it, has plenty of space, but out by Shapiro Jr. That will do it for half number 1 here between New Canaan and Stamford, the Rams and the Black Knights. It's certainly playing like a 4-5 matchup in this FCIAC West playoff.
Coming into halftime at 1-1. 1 goal Stamford, 1 goal New Canaan. Goal scored by
Here we are inside the press box. New Canaan and Stamford tied at the half, 1-1. Stamford got a goal early in that one. Luke Goncalves with a wonderful goal from 25 yards to surprise basically everyone. But Henry Lindbergh just got the Rams back level. How do you think that's going to play into halftime with New Canaan having that momentum?
New Canaan going into half big, have not been able to go into momentum in quite a few games so far, but they are able to do this one, hoping to find some more defensive mistakes. Stamford is looking a bit shaky.
We will have to see what happens in the second half of this one, 1-1. But before we go to half, we'd like to say, if you like what we're seeing, despite all the technical difficulties, make sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and Twitter at NCTV78, as well as liking and subscribing down below. That would mean a lot. New Canaan 1, Stamford 1, the 4-5 matchup playing up to its hype. We will see you in the second half in about 8.5 Stanford scored really a beauty, one of the best goals you'll see in high school soccer. And then equalizer came just before the break. Henry Lindbergh received the ball for a turnover and finished beautifully. Inside the press box here, Austin Platt, Cole Schubert, and the rest of the NCTV crew. How do you expect Stanford, we talked about New Canaan before that, how do you expect Stanford to come out of the second half knowing that they just basically let New Canaan back?
They have to come up big. They've had some shaky defensive performance so far, which they've been able to capitalize on with the Olympic goal as Canaan makes its way on.
They're certainly playing their part in this FCIAC playoff game, but ready for half number 2. It'll be Stanford to kick it off in the away white.
New Canaan in their classic red. On the right side of the field, and they switch halves at halftime. As Stanford kicks it off, both teams fighting for a big half.
4 seed and the 5 seed here in the FCIAC West. Battling as Tommy Kerr's very early, looking to apply some pressure, which is what New Canaan has done very, very well.
New Canaan playing a 4-4-2 formation, able to apply a lot more pressure in this game, as they had been playing a 5-4-1 formation at the beginning of the season. They've been quite effective in terms of their pressure. New Canaan trying to win the ball back here in Stamford, around the Stamford penalty arc.
Been very sloppy from Stanford to come out of this one. As you can tell, the mood has certainly changed on the brink of halftime. It's Tyler Timlin, the left back, who will throw this one in. Get some good air on it, and it could be in here. Jack Fannin trying to get to it, and it's spilled by the goalie. Someone goes down, claims for a penalty, but we continue play. Big opportunity for New Canaan just moments into the second half. They are determined, certainly, these Rams, to complete the comeback. Just the 1-goal deficit, I should say, and turn this game on its head and get a goal.
Again, it is a win-or-go-home situation here in the first round of the FCIAC West playoff. Both teams looking very alive coming into the second half, with New Canaan having the momentum with that very close opportunity.
The Black Knights playing on their toes here. Tyler Timlin in no rush. Actually trying to get the ball out of the field hockey net, which was placed on the side. Gets help from a fan. It'll be another long throw in for Timlin. Looking for a head. Lindbergh tries to bring it down. Another chance for Catlin, whose right-footed shot took a deflection, and Tomas gobbles it up.
Again, another good opportunity, able to pepper some shots at the senior goalkeeper, Luke Tomas. New Canaan wins it back again here in the midfield as they look to break.
Lindbergh sends Kurz along the right-hand side. He won't get to it. It's out for a Black Knights throw. Coach Luke Reed in his 3rd season hasn't seen much success with this team, but looking to get a playoff win for his seniors, as it will be their final game ever on Dunning, win or lose tonight. Fannin sends it all the way out into the away stands, which are unoccupied. Limited capacity here at Dunning, as it's the 4 seed and the 5 seed. New Canaan and Stanford. Stanford's actually the 4 seed here from Class L, while New Canaan's the 5th seed from Class L. Stanford could not host because their protocols state that they do not allow attendance, but New Canaan does allow a limited number of spectators. Then the Rams get the added benefit of not having to travel in this one.
Stanford passing it around the back here as they look to maintain possession. Playing a long ball in that Alex Walter looked like he'll be able to scoop up. Alex Walter, the junior goalkeeper, who made varsity last year as well, has been a key linchpin in some of the Rams' success so far this season. Able to make some key saves coming into this game. Not as much to do this game as he was sent sprawling for the first goal that Stanford scored.
Stanford wins the ball back in a wonderful through ball, as Chavarria could be in here if he can get a cross in. Can't quite do so, and Timlin will play it out, but it will be a throw-in for Stanford.
Stanford throwing played short, trying to find a cross into the box, looking to drive forward as it's played back to the midfield. Evan Bayless looking to break there, but unable to win the 50-50 ball.
Lopes, the sophomore, won that ball and kept it in for Stamford, who've looked much more lively as they look for a through ball. Couldn't find anyone, but a clearance is botched there from Lindbergh, who's playing at the back out of position. But Lindbergh,
Tommy Kerr's up at
Catlin.
top, looking to counter. It's a 3-on-2 here for Tommy Kerrs.
Has
Skilled with his
Bayless.
feet, trying to find the through ball into Evan Bayless, but unable to. Evan Bayless still with the ball,
And
but
he was
it
offside.
called offsides.
Kerrs played the ball a little bit too late, and even though it was deflected, Bayless was part of the play, which means it will be called back for offside. Free kick nearly goes all the way out of bounds, but keeping it in was the Black Knights. And they continue with it as they try and slow things down, as they've so far withstood the New Canaan pressure, and a ball over the top wonderfully. Black Knights do well to retain possession as they played back into the midfield, looking for Atencia, who couldn't quite track it down. New Canaan coming out with Catlin. Has Bayless looking for a through ball, which was cut out wonderfully and really necessary. Yeah, that's
Stamford applying some pressure here on the far side of the field. A quick
wonderful,
flick on by
wonderful
the
back
Stamford
heel.
player.
Square ball in, looking for a shot and couldn't quite get one as it went across the face of net.
No New Canaan players able to get to that ball as it was sent flying across the ground in the middle of the 6-yard box, but no Stamford players either in the 6-yard box able to make a threat or put that shot on goal.
Stamford holding possession again as its intensity has certainly increased. You can tell now this is what playoffs is all about. It's win or go home for both of these teams, and they know that's certainly a test. They would love to go to Greenwich and play the top seed on Friday if they can win this game. New Canaan wins it back.
Clashing with one of the Stamford players as it's gone up, and New Canaan player is down for the free kick.
That was Nick Lambrinos, the senior who we've seen as part of the 4-4-2 in the midfield. Wins a free kick. And looks like it'll be Kerrs to play it in, but he actually leaves it for Evan Bayless.
Evan Bayless has been favored by Coach Luke Green as one of the forward free kick takers so far for the season.
The senior former Beachside Club soccer player scored a wonderful goal against Wright Tech in their first of their 2 wins. Swings it in, looking for a head. Jack Fannin almost just wide. Fannin penetrated the back line. It was all alone and just couldn't quite head it in. Couldn't quite find the right angle on the header. But questions certainly have to be asked about the Stamford back line.
Again, another very strong opportunity off of a New Canaan free kick for New Canaan to capitalize, but unable to again, as they found in the first half with their shot that ricocheted off of the crossbar from defenseman Tyler Timlin, who was playing in the left defensive role.
Really sloppy play here from Stamford. Really have not been able to contain themselves in the second half. Bayless heads it over to Catlin, but it's won out there by Lops, the sophomore, number 21. And a through ball could be played in here as Atencia looks to track it down. It's sloppy from New Canaan. Atencia could be in here, but a great job there from Thomas Bosman, the senior, to prevent Stamford from taking the lead.
Stamford nearly getting that ball off of the Bosman mistake, playing it back to Alex Walter, but not with enough pace on it, as both Jack Fannin and Thomas Bosman were necessary in making that intervention to keep the ball out of a 1v1 situation against Walter, as it's played long for Tommy Kerrs, who looks to win it on the far side of the field.
Back and forth play here. Pace has really picked up. The intensity has really picked up, and certainly the crowd is getting into this one. Just under 10 minutes gone in this second half. No goals so far in the second half of this one, but we obviously need one in order to break the tie, and we certainly expect one given what we've seen so far. New Canaan looking like the better team, looking like that momentum. They are carrying that into the second half. Bayless, a volleyed shot, and a save there was necessary from Tomas. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. Looks like our camera's going in and out at the moment. Try and get that resolved as soon as possible. But for now, it will be a New Canaan throw as Tillman lets it go out.
High intensity so far this second half. Some of the best soccer that we've seen so far from this New Canaan team, though, while covering a couple of the games against Greenwich and Wright Tech in the past.
Luke Green voices his messages for the team. He certainly has to be inspired with what he's seen from this team in the last 15 minutes or so if you go back to that first half. Atencio looking to find someone to pass to. He does just that as is played along to Josh Goncalves, the senior, one of the twins, as he plays in, looking for a header that was Kopcheski, one of the seniors on this team, scored 4 goals for the Black Knights this year in his senior campaign.
Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. Our camera has gone out, and we are looking to resolve it. Seems like we can't catch a break so far in this game, but you get to look at Austin and I again, so who's the real winner here?
Exactly. Silver linings. New Canaan has been certainly able to retain possession, but Stamford has it here in the attacking third. Atencio looking to play it in. Pardon me, that's actually Chavarria, the senior, playing it back to Goncalves. New Canaan's done really well at the back, thwarting any opportunities as Tommy Kurtz looks like he's developed into the lone striker for the Rams. Has played all the way back to Tomas. Will reset.
Tommy Kurtz has been very, very effective so far this game, applying a lot of pressure on the shaky Stamford backline. But Stamford does look like they're able to hold in the midfield a bit more. Catlin goes down to a foul from Stamford.
Looking to play quickly was Catlin, but he waits for his teammates to get into the box, as it looks like it will be Irving Dorman, the right center back, part of this back four and part of the future really for this team. He's got certainly the biggest leg on the team as he'll swing it in from about the 46.
Long ball up and over, trying to find Fannin. He can't find Fannin as it's cleared out, but only two.
Lambrinos holds possession as Milan Afshar checks in for this one. Our camera is back. As you can see, a foul for New Canaan. As Christian Carmona, the senior, asking the ref why that was a foul, but his opinion does not matter according to the ref.
Evan Bayless lining up to take this one. Again, one of the two favored for free kicks. Him and Irving Dorman have been lethal so far this season.
Keep an eye out for Jack Fannin, number 24, one of the taller players who nearly scored earlier. It's chipped in. Fannin is the first guy there, but so is Tomas for Stamford as he holds on to that one.
Another big opportunity. New Canaan and their free kicks. It sounds like a love story.
Out again from New Canaan.
Tyler Timlin here on the close side of the field, taking that long throw. He's got very strong throws. And Evan Bayless fighting on the close side to win it, but it's out for a Stamford throw-in.
Stamford really slowing things down as the intensity is picked up, which has favored New Canaan. There's number 2, Shapiro, the junior, playing in the left back role, looking to get it back. But Stamford holds on to it anyways as they look to advance, but red jerseys swarming those in the white. But it's a ball over this right-hand side for Chevry. Keeping it was Goncalves, only momentarily, as Timlin plays it out. Stamford doing a good job holding on to it here.
Stamford looking for a break in the New Canaan defense, who is very populated, with Tommy Kurz being the sole New Canaan player up at the top of the field when they are defending. Coach Luke Green very diligent in making sure that his team is defensively minded and able to cut out that ball when it is played on.
This game certainly turning out to be much different than the game we saw 5 nights ago here at New Canaan. That game ended up being 2-0 in favor of Stamford after a very sloppy first half. And there's something that can be said has stayed the same. Very good second halves we've seen so far from both sides. Things starting to get a little physical here, but hey, it's playoffs. Ref says let them play. A wonderful through ball in, but no one was ever going to get there. Atencia looked to play it for Chavaria, who has 2 goals this year, but was never going to get number 3 on that through ball, which had too much power.
Alex Walter, the junior goalkeeper, playing a long punt, looking for Evan Bayless, who's unable to find the ball as it trickles down to the Stamford player. Tommy Kurz winning it back, playing on senior co-captain Henry Limburg.
Out again from Stamford as New Canaan keeps up this pressure. And if you look at the body languages on both sides, you can tell that New Canaan has the energy, and they certainly have more of the motivation to get that second goal if we do see one here in regulation.
As it is a playoff game, we can assume that it will go into extra time should the game end the normal 80 minutes still tied.
A throw in here looking for a head. As once again it looks like that was Doyle Catlin looking to get his head on it. But Luke Tomas, number 0, who had a clean sheet, has a couple of clean sheets on the year. Make sure New Canaan doesn't get a second goal right there. Lambrinos couldn't find anybody. He only finds his own coach, Luke Green, but he's out of bounds and it will be a throw in for Stamford. Bosman does a really nice job fending off his opponent as he gets the ball back and looks to play it for Tommy Kurz, who mistimed his jump and couldn't get a head on it.
Tommy Kurz and Evan Bayless applying pressure here on the close side as the ball is out for a New Canaan throw. But Stamford player is down on the far side of the field as it looks like the Stamford team and one of the referees is making their way over, and there's a stoppage in play.
Back here inside the press boxes, there's a man down on the far side for Stamford. Can't quite tell who it is yet, but the clock is stopped with exactly 23:15 to go. The second half has certainly seen a lot more action than the first.
Both teams playing it end-to-end as they huddle up, talking tactics while they have the time. Coming into this stoppage in play, it looks like New Canaan has had some of the better opportunities, but Stamford have had their fair share of opportunities, with the New Canaan defense matching them, apart from that one beautiful goal scored by Luke Goncalves, the senior.
But really, other than that, really hasn't been much for Stamford. New Canaan's done a great job at the back, which they really have all season. That kind of goes to show you that some of the younger players are actually playing the back, and they've only given up 18 goals this year in 10 games, which is pretty good. You're under 2 goals against as an average is pretty good, and you're certainly giving yourself a chance to win. But when you only score 19 on the season, it's not going to give you many opportunities to win. But Alex Walter has done his job when he's needed to step up big.
Back to the field, Luke Tomas with the goal kick, looking to play it long for a Stamford player.
A low booming kick with his left foot is headed it back for Tommy Kurz, who looks to play it down. He slips and won't win the ball back, as Stamford does well as they're able to get it out, but only momentarily as the ball rolls all the way to the New Canaan sideline. We're certainly energized for this one. Lambrinos over to Bosman, and it's out again for a New Canaan throw.
Bosman going to take the throw here for New Canaan on the far side in an attacking position. What can they do from this position?
He hands the ball to Tyler Timlin, the other senior center back. Is another long throw looking for a head. It finds one, and it is, looks like it will be a goal kick. Looked like it went off Tommy Kerr's last. Jack Fannin looking at the ref, wondering why it isn't a corner. A couple of New Canaan players protesting the referee, but once again, it's not their decision. Approaching the halfway point of the second half. New Canaan has been by far the better team in the second period. Bayless looking for a through ball. The Courage is headed away and brought down by Stamford. That's number 10, Christian Carmona, the senior. Plays it along the midfield. And now a ball over the top looking for Atencia. Walter waits until the ball enters the box and then gets his hands on it and plays it quickly to Irving Dorman. Looking for Bayless along this left-hand side. He's going to have to run it down. He's done exactly that. Not many people in the box for New Canaan, but he does send it in, looking for Kurz.
Unable to find Kurz as it goes out on the far side for a throw-in. Another good attacking option. Sorry, another good counterattack for New Canaan.
Bayless saw the opportunity with the striker and immediately played it, even though he was the only one in the box. But when you're one of the better players on this team, certainly Coach Luke Green's not going to worry about that. Stanford looking to break, but a poor touch, and then a slip here from Bosman as Stanford has numbers in the front.
Key intervention from junior Milan Afshar, who's made his way onto the field.
The junior has had 2 goals against the second game against Wright Tech earlier in the year. May have struggled a bit in the early stages of the year, but certainly Coach Luke Green has confidence in him at the back as they look to keep Stanford off of the scoreboard from now on. Ball over the top once again. Walters quick to get there.
Walter's been asked to come off his line quite a few times tonight, but he has stepped up to the challenge each time. As he plays it long, looking for Evan Bayless on the left side of the field, as is out for a Stanford throw-in coming off of Bayless's head.
Josh Goncalves couldn't quite win the header, but wins the throw. That's all he'll care about. This game has come a little bit to a lull after a real high-intense first part of this half. Both teams, certainly fatigue is probably going to play a factor at the end of this one. You'll expect both sides to go to their benches, as actually there is someone warming up on the far side for New Canaan. It looks like we will see a sub. Looks like Evan Bayless will trot off.
Henry Lindbergh joining the left side of the field.
Jake Bosman comes back on after taking a quick breather. And it's Tyler Tillman, the left back, to throw it all the way in to Catlin, who couldn't quite win it, but Lindbergh holds on to it. Afshar couldn't quite bring it down. And Catlin doing a really nice job of applying pressure. Ref says get up after he fell over. New Canaan once again applying a lot of pressure, but they can't quite win the foul as the ref says stop the clock and brings the free kick back. Clock stops with exactly 18:15 to go in regulation between the 4-seeded Stanford Black Knights and the 5-seeded New Canaan Rams. On paper, it might not look like one team has an advantage over the other, despite the fact that Stanford is technically a class above New Canaan. But both teams had 3 wins on the year, one in their final game of the regular season, and are playing for it all in this first-round matchup.
After that foul, Tommy Kurz, who's already on a yellow card, was asked by the ref, how many more fouls are you going to make? It just shows that Tommy Kurz and the rest of the New Canaan team are willing to apply pressure and are looking to do it at any cost.
The players got to step up to their game, and obviously so do the refs as well. You expect the high intensity, but Referee have certainly done their job. Not much to say about them, which is a good thing. Timlin with a throw in. Kurz with the header. Couldn't quite fall to any of the New Canaan players originally as Catlin's shot was blocked, and now Stamford could come out here with Atencia, the sophomore, playing a wonderful through, but that's deflected. But holding on to it is Stamford. Atencia looking to get it back, but New Canaan looks like we'll win the free kick.
Jack Fenton playing it quickly to Jake Bausman on the far side, who's tripped up for a free kick around the halfway line.
Weather has certainly cooled off here. What was a beautiful November fall afternoon has turned into a bit of a chilly night. But the players don't seem fazed by that. It'll be Dorman swinging in with a high ball. A header back to goal and nearly an own goal. What is he doing playing it back to his goalie?
Looks like it must have been a misdirected header, but Luke Tomas was necessary in keeping that ball out, diving to keep out the ball as it is out for a New Canaan corner kick. The intensity coming from the New Canaan side of the bleachers now.
Sent in looking for a header. Lindbergh couldn't quite climb the ladder.
Just above Lindbergh. He's got a strong header. Could have been quite a good opportunity if he had been able to put that on goal. Stamford with the ball here on the far side after the ball went out for a Stamford throw. Switching the play in their defense, not taking any chances as they look to play it up slowly.
Turnover here from New Canaan. Bosman wins it back, looking to get around his opponent, but it will go out for a goal kick. Good job there at the back by Stamford, as Bosman's one of the quicker players on this team. Both Bosmans, for that matter. Both Jake, the sophomore, and Thomas, the senior, both play on defense, but when they're both on the field, Coach Green likes to see the younger one play a bit of attack. Lindbergh looking for a cross in, wasn't high enough and is headed back out, and Lindbergh will let it go out for a throw-in.
Tyler Timlin, who we've seen has a massive throw, lining up to take this one. New Canaan applying more and more pressure as the game goes on, looking to find that breakthrough to take the lead for the first time in this game.
Throw-in doesn't get much for New Canaan, but they win the ball back. It's really sloppy play here from Stamford. A shot from range from Lindbergh, but that was deflected. Stamford trying to slow things down. As you can tell, fatigue is playing a factor, and they are certainly exhausted. But they're going to have to hold on for another 14 and a half minutes if they want to keep their season alive.
Stamford with what looks like a slightly smaller roster than the New Canaan team, but certainly some skilled players as we've seen.
Winner of this game gets number 1 Greenwich. In just 2 days' time, Greenwich lost their first game of the year and only game of the year against Darien just a couple days ago. So momentum will certainly be a factor going into that one, as Greenwich, Darien, and West Hill, the top 3 Cs, all get byes since Right Tech opted out of this FCIAC division. Bosman looking to apply pressure, his blistering pace, but couldn't quite get to it.
There were some appeals for the handball at the beginning of that New Canaan counterattack, but the ref did not see anything wrong with it as it was in close range and not a deliberate handball. Goes
all the way back to Walter. Stanford now really applying the pressure as their fans are getting into it. May sound like there are hundreds of supporters in the stands, but really it is a limited attendance. But many more of the players are from Stamford. But New Canaan fans showing their support as well.
Both teams very much still in this game, with New Canaan having a few more opportunities than Stamford so far in this half, with just around 13 minutes left in the game. Still tied at 1-1.
We saw a mistake from Stamford that led to that first goal from Henry Lindbergh, and it might as well take another mistake if either one of these teams want to score and grab a winner before we would need to go into necessary extra time. Dorman advances the ball and then chips it in, but nobody was there. Miscommunication. As Henry Lindbergh, the captain, says, yeah, I'm not getting there, as that ball was way over his head.
Ball played high. Jack Fannin wins the header. That's the senior defenseman who's had quite a say in this game so far, cutting out a few big opportunities and having some attacking options, some attacking opportunities, as he is one of the taller members of the team.
Atencia looking to go in here. Walter is out of his goal, but does well. Fantastic job there from Alex Walter, the junior goalie. Got a touch on it. That's the second time we've seen Atencio the breakaway. The junior keeper plays it out for a corner as the Stamford crowd looking to lift their team to victory in this one.
Definitely sounding a bit more lively than they have in the past bit of the game.
Cross comes in looking like a direct shot, and the angle was never there for Chavarria.
Alex Walter making an easy save.
Plays it out quickly, even though none of the New Canaan players were there, as they were all back defending the corner. Lindbergh has it. Bosman is calling for on the left-hand side. He gets it. He's going to have to track it down. He gets really shoved to the ground there, and it will be what looks like a free kick for New Canaan.
In a very key area of the field, close to the penalty line.
Very
Just
dangerous
outside the
spot.
box.
It'll be Evan Bayless to swing it in. Fannin enters the fray for New Canaan in the box, one of the taller players. Even though he may play center back, he certainly has his fair share of opportunities on the offensive side. Three-man wall for Stamford.
Big opportunity here for New Canaan. Can they convert?
Bayless goes for goal, and it's a punch save. Wonderfully done there from Tomas, who needed to, as that one was looking like it was headed into the corner, but Tomas does well to punch it out of play, making
Cheers
sure there was no
approval.
second chance opportunity.
Cheers of approval from the Stamford fans over here on the close side.
Free kick for New Canaan. So they're really dominating the last couple of minutes in this one. First couple minutes of the game, which unfortunately was not on camera for you guys, was really dominated by Stamford. They got that goal from Luke Goncalves with a wonderful goal. And then ever since the stream went on, New Canaan has been doing pretty well. Another header in, and it was Fannin who couldn't quite get it on target once again. Jack Fannin has had several opportunities to head one in the back of the net, but New Canaan really has responded well to that early goal.
Big opportunities. 9 minutes left in this game. Win or go home. New Canaan wins the header, but it is, and Henry Lindbergh recovers in the middle of the
Wonderful
field,
through
playing it
ball
on.
down this right-hand side. Bosman's square ball was over everyone's head. Couldn't quite get the angle on it.
Very tough ball to play and off of the first time touch, but Bausman attempted it and did not come away with a clean result. The ball going out for a Stamford goal kick.
Tomas taking his sweet time. As both teams really know, it's obvious at this point that New Canaan is the much more energized and motivated, and they want this game a bit more.
Substitution with number 11, Jacob Kopskewski coming on. Sorry, I really butchered that name. Coming on the field. It's a foul for Stamford as they look to gain back some momentum into this game.
It'll be Andre Quijada, the junior, take this indirect free kick from the 35. Stanford's 35, I should add, so they have to swing it in long. Can't quite find anybody. New Canaan lets it go all the way back to Walter.
Walter playing it short, quick to Irving Dorman as he plays a long, fast through ball, trying to find New Canaan, and he does after some scuffle in the midfield. Evan Bayless advancing the ball on the left side here.
Lindbergh plays it to Tommy Kurz, who can't quite track it down as two Stamford defenders closed him off.
Goal kick for Stamford here, who's been under considerable pressure, but also has had some opportunities to answer.
Not the greatest goal kick we've seen from the seniors. It immediately goes out for New Canaan throw. Tyler Timlin on this near side throws it all the way in looking for Tommy Kurz, but headed out by Stanford. Atencia doing really well. He's got a bag of tricks as he holds on to the ball, and Fannin does well to direct the header to Milan Afshar. Back to Fannin. His header goes right to Catlin. And out for New Canaan throws. It comes right to Coach Luke Green.
Long throw for New Canaan, unable to find a player in the red shirt to receive it, but it looks like Doyle Catlin wins it back, trying to play it long as the Stanford player shields it for a Stanford throw-in. Sorry, a Stanford goal kick. Tommy Kurz making a challenge on the Stanford player over there, who hobbles off to the side. The referee coming over to give him a word.
Already on a yellow card is Tommy Kurz. He argues with the ref as they go back and forth. But Kurz stays in the game.
Seems like it must be a fine line, as he has made quite a few challenges and had fouls called a couple times so far after receiving his yellow early into the first half.
He's really testing the limits here of these referees.
In the high school leagues, they're not very quick to give out red cards, but when necessary, they can. And Tommy Kurz definitely would not want to receive one, especially if this game does end up going into overtime, as it is poised to go with 5 minutes left in the second half.
Final 5 minutes of this one. Ball swung in. Doesn't find anyone in. Almost. Oh, my goodness. That's Jack Fannin again, who looked like he whiffed on that, and the ball nearly snuck in, nearly nestled its way into the corner. New Canaan can't catch a break.
Another heart stopper for Stanford, whose fans are stomping on the bleachers, trying to get their team back into the game. New Canaan and Jack Fannin with quite a few opportunities in this second half, but still unable to capitalize.
This is certainly the loudest crowd I've heard all year, given with the limited attendance due to COVID protocols, but sounds like there's full capacity here, and certainly if you weren't here, you couldn't tell that there was not many people in the stands, but that's the intensity of playoff soccer for both these teams. That's just how much it means to these two schools, which aren't known for soccer, certainly, but are playing like it could be their last game, and for one of these teams, it will be. Sloppy here from Stanford at the back. A left-footed shot, and it's just over the bar. That was Doyle Catlin who won the ball. Sloppy pass from Stanford at the back.
Quick goal kick from Luke Tomas, the senior goalkeeper.
Atencia advances the ball here and holds on to it. He might take a left-footed shot instead. Waits a little too long and is just cleared out all the way to Bayless, who has Bosman, whose touch was a little heavy as he couldn't quite get it underneath his feet. Atencia, nice little give and go there. And it's out, but kept in by number 3. That's Josh Concal, one of the 3 brothers on this team. New Canaan pinned inside their own half, but they do well to get it back, but only momentarily, as Quijada played it along to the other left back. That's Shapiro. And Stamford holds. Fannin needed 2 tries to clear that one out. And it will be a Stamford throw as they look to maybe steal one here at the death of this first round playoff game. Moving in and a cross coming all the way in was Stamford right to Atencia, but he needed to track it down. Canaan holds on to it, and Lindbergh makes no mistake as New Canaan really has 10 of its 11 players at the back. Tommy Kerr is really the only one that is being placed at midfield, as New Canaan wants to make sure they don't give up one late and make sure that this great effort that they've put together tonight doesn't just go to waste with one silly mistake. But speaking of mistakes, Stamford nearly made one.
Stamford throwing on the far side. Despite the lack of goals in the second half, it has been thrilling to watch, and we hope that you have been enjoying at home.
Atencia finds the ball on this right-hand side, slips but regains possession. It's a wonderful job from him as he plays it back into the midfield, thinking about a shot, but then it turns into a give and go. But Stamford can't quite find anything as this New Canaan defense has held its own. Cross into the middle is dangerous and finally out by Fannin. But Stamford doing a great job here at the end. Kurz plays it all the way down. Tomas will come out, and as we are under a minute to go here in regulation time of this FCIAC first round game, it's win or go home as Kurz just does not want another opportunity.
He looked like he was going for goal from about the 45-yard line, but was unable to get it on target or far enough, and it goes out for a Stamford throw. Certainly a bold kick, but could have paid off should it had gone on target, with Luke Tomas being out of his position after coming out to clear that ball.
Someone's going to have to retrieve that ball, but a ball is played back in with just under 20 seconds to go. Bayless has the ball in the midfield, going around a couple of players, cleared out only as far as Doyle Catlin, who taps it along to Bosman, who played it behind Catlin. Under 5 seconds. A final opportunity potentially for Bosman, but the challenge was won, and that is it for regulation. Stamford won, New Canaan won. We will need overtime, extra time, to decide this one.
Both teams make their way off the field. I'm sure adrenaline is rushing right now. These two teams still very much in it, going into extra time here at Dunning Stadium.
No goals in the second half, but it was certainly a thriller to watch. Stamford got up early in this one. Luke on Calvis with a goal as we welcome you back inside the press box. 2 halves will not be enough to decide this one, as Henry Lindbergh got a goal late in the first half. A thrilling second half, really great entertainment. Great entertainment in the second half, but no goals to show for it for either side. What do you think New Canaan's message is going to be from Luke Green?
Continue the pressure. They need to be more clinical in the 6-yard box, as we've seen quite a few crosses and free kicks coming in, but they have been in this game very strong in the second half. Overall, I'd say they've had quite a few more clear-cut opportunities than Stamford have. Something that Stamford's going to need to tell their team is they have to be more defensively minded and diligent in their defense, clearing the ball up the field, being able to play it out of pressure. How about you, Austin?
I think that I have to agree. Keep up the pressure. This is how they've been doing a really nice job in the second half, making sure they get balls into the midfield and making sure they're really sound at the back. They don't give up many opportunities, but, certainly Stamford has some speedy guys as well who can make an impact. We didn't see much of them. We just learned that actually extra time will be 2 10-minute halves, so it'll be 20 minutes of play. They will play that throughout, even if a goal is scored. So we'll see at least 20 minutes more of soccer, but it's going to be an exciting one. Stamford and New Canaan, the 4 and the 5 seed, as the winner will play Greenwich, but certainly both teams don't want their seasons to be stopped tonight. And we will see you shortly in about 3 minutes. See you in about 3 minutes for then. Both teams are huddling up.
Few of the New Canaan players out on the field staying warm, passing the ball around as they hope to get their opportunity.
As we look into the sponsors here, we want to thank our sponsor for helping us all year. First and foremost, Walter Stewart's. Walter Stewart's is your fresh local market. On to the silver sponsors, Performance Optimal Health, Educational Futures, the SIG Insurance Agencies, OSSM Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, Renaissance Partners LLC, Rand Insurance,
Now for our black sponsors, Ready Rooster, Sheila Law, 84 Sports New Canaan, the New Canaan Diner, NC Graphics, the Athletic Shoe Factory, Togs, Dr. Austin Feeney, as well as the NC Rams All Sports Booster Club, who support all sports endeavors here at the high school.
Thank you again to all those sponsors for supporting us throughout the year. As we got about another minute and 15 seconds to go before extra time. It'll be 2 10-minute halves as both teams regroup, and certainly fatigue will be a factor. We'll see how both teams utilize their benches. But New Canaan 3-6-1, Stamford 3-2-3, uneven number of games played this year due to the quarantine that Stamford underwent at the beginning of the year, which caused New Canaan to actually play the top seed Greenwich 3 times, and they struggled mightily. They lost 2-0, 6-0, and 3-0 to Greenwich. They got their 3 wins against West Hill, and they got 2 of them against Wright Tech. But for Stamford, they beat Wright Tech twice, as well as they beat West Hill as well for their 3rd win, but haven't played many games since. And Coach Mike Summa, under first year, will certainly be tested. His coaching will certainly become a factor in this one.
The teams are taking the field again. 20 minutes to decide the outcome. Should there not be a winner found in 20 minutes, we will go to a penalty shootout.
Much excitement to come, as everyone can take a deep breath, and here we go. The first half of extra time between Stamford and New Canaan. It is not golden goal, so if someone does score, we will continue to play on. And if we do have a winner after the 20 minutes, the game will be over. Well, the teams switch sides once again. Stamford will be moving from right to left, New Canaan from left to right. And as Coach Mike Summa said in the beginning of the year during his interview, our region has a championship, and we're playing for that. And that is basically all you need to know about both these sides. They're ready, and they're motivated. We're underway in extra time. The Black Knights and the Rams playing for a spot in the FCIAC West semifinals. They will play Greenwich. The winner of this game will play Greenwich, and then Darien and West Hill will play on Friday in the other semifinals, since Wright Tech bowed out of this tournament. Early pressure from New Canaan here. Henry Lindbergh gets around his man, looking to get a square ball in. It's deflected back to Kurz, who turns around and takes a left-footed shot.
Kurz, who can be lethal on both his left and right foot, has scored a couple goals so far this season.
He scored one very similar to that, actually, just 2 nights ago against West Hill, which was the team's second of the night, gave them a 2-0 lead. West Hill got a goal back, but then Kurz immediately got his second after an error from the keeper, made it 3-1, and New Canaan held on. Stamford retains possession, and Atencia calls for the ball and gets it as he's trying to get around Bosman. He's doing just that, and Walter comes out. Atencia runs all the way into the back fence, and it will be a corner, says the referee, for Stamford.
Big save from Walter, who hasn't had to be very quick off of his feet in terms of coming out for some point-blank range shots, but has made a crucial intervention here as it's a Stamford corner.
It's floated in, waiting for a header, but the only header there was from Catlin. And Canaan could break, but a little miscommunication as both Bayless and Bosman went for the ball. But Lindbergh recovers for New Canaan, and he gets the ball back. Pausing for a second as this could be a turnover. But Stamford could not quite keep it in.
It's out for a New Canaan throw. Tyler Timlin, again, the favored throw-in taker option.
Lindbergh looking to chase it down. New Canaan applying the pressure once again. That's been their key to success tonight. And it will be, it looks like, a foul in favor of Stamford, it looks like.
Stamford players questioning what the foul was for and why they couldn't play advantage.
A late afternoon start has turned into an early evening, and certainly the temperature has dropped, and we are under the lights here as Atencio has the ball, looking to get around Bosman again, who has done well, and then Walter comes out to grab it as he has a word with a couple of players, and things are getting to get a little physical here. As some of the Stamford fans are saying, stop, we need you, because he is certainly one of the better players.
Emotions rising in this first round playoff game.
That's what you love to see.
Certainly is enjoyable for us announcers here. But tension on the field. Both of these players can't risk getting expulsion.
Atencio has a word with the ref, who is still speaking with him, not pleased with his behavior. Looks like nothing will come out of this. It'll just be a bit of a talking as some of the New Canaan players have a word with the other ref, stating their case. That's what playoffs are all about. May not be a big rivalry between these two teams, but in this shortened season where we only saw New Canaan play 10 regular season games, Stamford only played 8. They want to get the most out of their season and keep it alive as they both look to advance and increase their chances of lifting the hardware at the end of the season, which is what both teams care about. The ref has a word with the captain, Doyle Catlin, as clock has stopped with 7:04 to go in this first period of extra time.
All to play for in these last 17 minutes of extra time. 2 10-minute halves as we're back underway. I'd say Stamford has had the best opportunities so far in this first period of extra time. But
absolutely. I mean, we've barely even seen the other side of the field with just 3 minutes gone. But after all that, nothing comes much of it. But Bayless wins the ball and finds it on this left-hand side, plays a heavy touch, and it can't quite track it down. Stamford holds on to it in the midfield, but Bosman is right there. Thinking about a shot, takes a shot, and it's bounces right in front of Tomas, who spilled it a little bit, but luckily no one was there for New Canaan for a rebound and to knock it home. And a poor goal kick, for Tomas. But Stamford holds on to it in the midfield.
Tommy Kerr's cautious to play that tackle, as I'm sure he's had the ref tell him that he cannot make any more brash challenges after being on a yellow card since the early minutes of the first half. But he has had an influential game so far, applying lots of pressure on the Stamford back line.
Emotions rising here, as you would expect. Extra time here in this FCIAC first round. Winner goes to the center. Carmona holds on to the ball here on this right-hand side. Apologies again, our camera is going in and out. But New Canaan. But Evan Bayless holds on to the ball, and it will go out for a Stamford throw. Back inside the booth as we continue with coverage here. Apologies for the technical difficulties. It'll be a free kick for Stamford as they look to take it quickly.
Free kick is taken quickly, played back into the defense as they look to switch the play. Tommy Kurz and Jake Bausman both applying pressure but unable to win the ball back as Gonzalez takes the ball up the field.
The goal scorer for Stamford gets a through ball and looking to cross it in. If he can keep it in, he's done just that, working on Jack Fannin. He looks to get around him on the byline, and it will go out. Stamford fans think it's a corner, but
New Canaan has the goal kick with Irving Dorman, the sophomore, lining up to take this one. Long goal kick, uncontested by any New Canaan players, but it is given away.
Played back to Jake Bosman, who looks to chip it above the head of Lev Shapiro to Kurz, but Shapiro just won the header and then played it down to himself. Stamford holding on to it here, as we are halfway through the first half of extra time. This game's starting to slow down a little bit after we saw a really intense end to the second half, and then the beginning of this extra time is a foul on Jake Bosman as he shoved down Luke Goncalves, as Stamford crowd saying, are you going to give him a card as well? But I guess not, as the referee keeps his hands out of his pockets as Luke Green says, do not dive in, making sure no one gets sent off here. A wonderful back heel. Bosman didn't quite do a ton with it, but support there is from Catlin, who's on the deck, and it's a foul for New Canaan.
Again, Atencia at the middle of this one, with him putting his hands on Thomas Basman, who was on the ground, winning the foul back for New Canaan in a critical area of the field, far into the New Canaan half.
Afshar with a man on. He goes down, and Stamford actually wins the throw. Things starting to get a little bit chippy here as both sides, their fans are really into this one as the ball is played by Stamford.
Jake Basman cutting it out, but unable to get it up the field out of pressure.
Catlin keeps it in. Fans looking for a handball as Evan Bayless shoves over Shapiro.
Outrage from the Stamford fans over here, yelling at the referee, asking them to do more as a yellow card is given to Evan Bayless, the senior star for New Canaan here. Slow to get up is the Stamford player, number 2, Lev Shapiro, the junior, who's staying on the ground as the Stamford coach comes over to check him out.
We'll see a stoppage in play here as both sides will check on the junior left back. Clock is stopped with 2:26 to go as the ref has a word with both the captains of these teams, making sure things don't get too much out of hand, but you expect the intensity when the word playoffs is put into this game.
Certainly some fiery personalities coming out to show their worth on the field today. Both teams looking to take an edge ahead after the first 2 goals in the first half. Both teams unable to break the deadlock again.
The intensity has certainly increased, but the goal scoring count remains at 2, 1 for each side. Luke Goncalves scored a goal in about the 10th, and really it was pretty early in the 6th or 7th minute for Stamford. A shot from about 30 yards out surprised everyone. A rising shot that beat goalkeeper Alex Walter, and then right before the half, Henry Lindberg won the ball and then took a couple of touches and then struck a wonderfully right-footed shot that kissed the inside of the post in the lower corner and found its way into the back of the net. Good news, Shapiro is up and is hobbling off.
Helped off by his coach. There will be a substitution here. Both teams meeting in their huddles, trying to talk tactics, find out how to get an advantage into this game. So far in this first period of extra time, Stamford has had the advantage with some of their opportunities, but both teams are still fighting hard.
We have a substitution here. Tristan Berry, number 26, will come on for the injured Shapiro, who will slot right in as looks like right back. But play will resume here with a free kick to Stamford, where they play it short inside their own half. Along to the right-hand side. New Canaan withholding the pressure and allowing Stamford to advance into their own half. Looking for a through ball, but Walter comes out and slides on it. With under 2 minutes to go. We are back.
We're back.
Alex Walter, as you see, boots it away all the way to Lindbergh, who taps it down. But Stamford does well to hold on possession. They play a ball in the midfield looking for someone, but the only man they found was Milan Afshar. But Stamford wins it right back. Give and go action looking for Christian Carmona. But Nick Lambrinos, who has entered the game once again in the midfield, cuts that one out.
Jake Bausman nearly won that one back. That would have been a big intervention.
But the turnover does come nonetheless. It was Afshar playing it back to Bausman, who plays a good ball in the middle, and it goes all the way out wide as Lindbergh has to chase it down. Trying to win a throw in his both sides. Stamford does just that. Looks like we're not going to see a goal in the first half of extra time. Short throw for Stamford. Attempted clearance. Goes off a New Canaan player, but benefits Stamford as they hold on to it. Now on this near side. Plenty of room for Goncalves as he plays a through ball, tapped all the way to Atencia, who retains possession.
Atencia wriggling through the midfield. Very skilled dribbling.
He's been very good for this team. Ref says play on, and Atencia keeps the ball in and goes all the way to the byline, into the box, looking for a cross. It's deflected and finally cut out there from New Canaan, but not all the way. Think about a right-footed shot, and one that is just over the bar, was David Lopes, the sophomore, received the ball. And that is the final action of the first half of extra time. We have seen 50 minutes and still nothing to separate the two sides from the 1-1 scoreline we saw in the first half. Teams will meet for just 1 minute, and while we have this pause and play, we'd just like to say thank you again for tuning into this one. It's certainly turning out to be a great one. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to like and subscribe down below at NCTV 78, and then follow us on Twitter and Instagram for the latest as well, also at NCTV 78. We've been putting together a lot of games for you, and as the playoffs continue, boys soccer is actually they're the first ones in the FCIAC to continue with their playoffs. We welcome you back inside the press box. We'll continue to put on the games for you. Girls soccer, volleyball, as well as field hockey. They begin their playoffs later this week. But for first playoff game, you could ask really for all of the FCIAC. It's turning out to be a great one. The 4 and the 5 seed, Stamford and New Canaan. I apologize for the voice crack, but hey, it's 1-1. And what do you expect here from both sides as we see the final 10 minutes of action?
It's been very end-to-end from both teams. Both teams still very much in it. As we've stressed this entire time, it's been an absolutely fantastic game to watch so far as the teams look to make their way back out onto the field shortly as the buzzer just rang. Everything to play for in these last 10 minutes. If we can't find a winner in the last 10 minutes of this extra time, we will be going to penalties as the Stamford team is the first one to make their way onto the field.
Stamford crowd increasing the noise here as they stomp on the bleachers, as both teams come out of the huddle, receiving the final words from their managers. And whatever happens here, this will be the final 10 minutes of live action, and if necessary, we will go to penalty kicks, which certainly increases the intensity and the pressure on both sides. They switch sides once again. New Canaan will be going from right to left as Tommy Kurz waits over the ball and waits for the whistle from the referee.
Who would you say has been your star player so far for the Stamford Black Knights, Austin?
I would certainly say it would be Atencia. If there's going to be a guy, even though he might have almost gotten sent off earlier in this an extra time due to maybe his behavior, but he's certainly been one of the faster players, has real great skill. As Bayless looked to win that, and he fell down, or he is also on a yellow card. The ref says you can't do that. But Stamford plays the ball quickly over the top. Nice little give and go here. Walter's going to have to come out, and he does so. But going back to Atencia, the sophomore, he's been unbelievable. 5 goals on the season, 1 assist, and he's been by far their best player, in my opinion, with the skill that he has and the speed he presents to this New Canaan defense, which has done, quite honestly, a great job. Kept them off the score sheet tonight.
Yes, very strong performance from Coach Luke Green's defense, as well as the rest of their players. I'd say this has been a pretty strong performance overall and very fun to watch.
Kurtz has the ball, plays it across to Catlin in the midfield. Bayless with a man on, steers the ball away from him. Timlin back to Bayless. Timlin does well to keep it in, but not for long as he boots it all the way down.
It's going to be a Stanford throw-in here.
They ruled that Timlin did not keep the ball in before he booted it back behind, so Stanford can advance with this throw-in, and it'll be Goncalves to throw it in. Goes it all the way back. That is Tristan Berry, the man who is on for the injured Shapiro. Another sloppy ball across the back, another turnover, and it will lead to a New Canaan throw. As both sides can start to feel that a goal here could end up being the winner. As you see a couple of the New Canaan fans at the very top of your screen.
Tyler Timlin lining up to take another big throw. He has been the man so far for New Canaan's throw-ins. It does not find a New Canaan head, though, as it looks like it will go. Nope, it's stayed in, kept in by Stanford.
Bosman did just enough to make sure there was no counterattack from Stanford, as that throw-in by Timlin only came to a white jersey. Headed along to Atencia, who has plenty of space, has someone backpedaling, and they could be in here. Walter's out of his goal. The ball is chipped and cleared off the line. What a job. Wow.
That's a massive save from Thomas Bausman, the senior, who cleared it off of the goal line to keep New Canaan in this one. The game is tied 1-1. 6.5 minutes left in this end of extra time. Corner being swung in now.
Walter can't quite get a hand on it, but luckily no one was there. It's a real misplay there, but what a job there from Thomas Bosman. That ball was certainly going to be trickling into the back of the net, but he raced down and made sure it would go out. Another shot from distance. Walter has to dive to his left, but the ball goes just wide. Stanford really picking up their game here.
Alex Walter with a sprawling dive to the lower right-hand corner of the goal, but it looked like he had it covered from our angle in the press box, Austin. Certainly a qualified goalkeeper helping out New Canaan so far in this game.
It'll be Irving Dorman to take the goal kick. Things calming down momentarily, but I won't be surprised if there's another shift in the action.
Ball played back to the Stanford back two center backs, but they played out of pressure quickly, looking for the counterattack.
This is good play here from Stanford, as it's number 6 Udolevich who plays it out wide to none other than Atencia, who looking to cross it in. Dorman did well.
Dorman pulled down by Atencia. One of New Canaan's old seniors here at the game pleading with the ref, asking him where the yellow card is for Atencia, who had the outbreak earlier in the first period of extra time.
Parents, students, graduates, they're all trying to do their part and making sure the refs are making the right calls here. Chipped away by Barry. And all the way, this is good play here from Stanford, but Afshar does even better to get it all the way out to Bosman, Jake Bosman, that is.
Bosman on
Chipping
the
it over the top, and a good header there from Barry as Lindbergh was penetrating the back line. It's another free kick for Stamford. They played quickly. Atencia, the sophomore, plenty of room looking for someone to pass to. Evan Bayless working on him. There's been a great matchup to watch all night long. Atencia gets the better of him this time and wins the free kick. Free kick here for Stamford. Atencia is over it at about the 23-yard line. Everyone lined up on the left-hand side for Stamford. Atencia low cross, looking for a little give-and-go action. Wonderful setup.
Ball played out to no one. No New Canaan players up. All 11 men back defending for that free kick. Cannot be conceding now with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second period of extra time.
There will be a foul, not on Stamford, to actually be in favor of New Canaan, as the Stamford players are mesmerized by the call, but referees once again proving why they're in charge of this one. Many of the fans here are Stamford parents and friends who certainly are making their voices heard. But Dorman sends this one of his best kicks of the night. Goes over everyone's head. Lindbergh could get onto it. It's a foul there. And the ref says get up.
I'm not quite sure how that was not a foul as Lindbergh was off
Lindbergh
looking for the ball.
Lindbergh is still down as play continues. He took a knee to the midsection. Another foul there on Doyle Catlin on Atencia, as things are certainly getting a bit out of hand here. Lindbergh is still head over heels on the far side as he took a knee to the midsection, as it looked like it could have been an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And the ref will say stop the clock as this mess has to be sorted out. Wow, that was an interesting play there to say the least. Henry Lindbergh found the loose ball and played a very nice touch, and then took a really hard tackle, and it looked like what the ref said was that the touch was too heavy and that the goalkeeper would have been there. But what are your thoughts on that?
That does make sense. The goalkeeper did end up coming out and getting that ball, but Henry Lindbergh does have pace. I'm not sure if he would have been able to get to that. Anyways, it was a big opportunity for the Rams late into this second period of extra time, which was then followed up by the big tackle from Doyle Catlin, who was not having any of the Stamford team, and put in a strong foot for the foul that is seen here. Henry Lindbergh is back up on his feet and off the field, it looks like.
Momentarily, it looks like New Canaan will have to sub him out for the moment, as he basically had the wind knocked out of him, it looks like.
Bringing back on Nick Lambrinos, the number 13, the senior.
Sent in deep, Lambrinos can't quite win the header. Dorman couldn't quite get it out. Shouts for a handball, but even though it might have gone off his hand, it was certainly unintentional, and Bosman can win it down.
Bosman
will be a
rolling
foul
over on the far side of the field after what looked like a heavy shoulder, and it will be a New Canaan free kick. Another good opportunity in the Stamford half of the field for Evan Bayless to swing in, hoping for someone to finally get ahead on one of these free kicks.
Bayless will swing it in. Under 2 minutes to go in the final period of extra time. It's a good ball in, looking for a head there, and it was headed out by Lopes, the sophomore. But continuing on from New Canaan, they're not done yet. But it will finally go out, not for a goal kick as it's played, and it goes out for a throw-in favoring New Canaan. Neither team's really in any rush here to take this throw. Is a good sign for New Canaan. Lindbergh is back on as Lambrino's just short stint on the field ends. Timlin will throw it in. We could see this final action of extra time. It's a good throw in, looking for a header, but Stamford has done a great job winning those. Bayless looked for an acrobatic effort. Kurz did as well. And New Canaan holds on to it, as is Timlin, but it goes out and it will be a throw for Stamford. Is there one last chance for the Black Knights to steal one late in this one? If the score holds, we will go to penalty kicks, and that certainly looks like what's going to happen. Ball goes out of play. It looks like it will be a throw-in, I believe. For Stamford, it will be, as clock is continuing to run here. Turnover here. Catlin finds the ball in midfield. He goes down. No foul, but it's play right back to Lindbergh. His first-time effort finds the path of Bayless. A lot of pushing and shoving here, but nothing to come from it. Atencia again. He's been all over the place doing everything for Stamford. Can he lead one last rush? No, he cannot. The clock ticks down. And folks, that will do it. 60 minutes of soccer is not enough to decide this one, and we get penalty kicks. That's right. Extra time was not enough. 80 minutes of regular time was not enough, and we will have penalties, and this is, Cole, as good as it gets.
What an exciting game so far, Austin. It has been an absolute pleasure to be in the booth with you here as the teams make their way off the field. It has been a thriller so far, not due to the lack of goals, but it has been incredible. Tensions rising as the players look to secure the win for their team. It's a winner-go-home situation in the first round of the FCIAC playoffs here at Dunning Stadium.
Winner of this game, the 4-5 matchup, will go on to play Greenwich. Back here inside the press box. It's been a thriller to say the least, and certainly emotions are high. Both teams, for one of these two teams, it's going to end very sadly. You know, 2 seasons that really weren't too successful. Neither of these teams could get any more than 4 wins, and they couldn't finish above 500, but it's going to be a great win for one of these two teams and a disappointing finish for especially the seniors, if you think about it, as both these coaches look to adjust and see who they're going to roll out for penalties. It'll be big responsibility on the goalkeepers, as we once again want to thank our sponsors for their support this year and supporting the NC Rams All Sports Booster Club. First and foremost, our platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart's, your fresh local market for 60 years. Now on to our silver sponsors. Performance Optimal Health, Educational Futures, the SIG Insurance Agencies, OSSM Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, Renaissance Partners LLC, Rand Insurance, finally our black sponsors,
Ready Rooster, Sheila Law, 84 Sports New Canaan, New Canaan Diner, NC Graphics LLC, Athletic Shoe Factory, Togs, Austin Feeney Orthodontics, and the NC Rams All Sports Booster Club, who supports all sporting endeavors at the high school. Now we are back to the field as the two teams line up on the halfway line for penalty shootouts. Who will be the hero of this? Will it be the senior goalkeeper for the Stamford Black Knights, Luke Tomas, or the junior goalkeeper for the Rams, Alex Walter?
And Cole, obviously you were had to join me in the booth this year due to the fractured finger, but obviously you know these teams, and how hard is it, how much pressure is there on the goalkeepers and on the strikers to convert and save these penalties?
Yes, being a goalkeeper myself, I know the pressure of having a penalty. It seems like the ball is right next to you, but you need to look big, You need to be confident, maybe take guesses on which side, and hope for a bit of success reading the opponent's body language as they approach. Alex Walter looks like he will be the first up, with Stamford taking the first kick. Again, it is a best of 5. First 5 kicks. 5 kicks from each team, and then at the end of that, if it is still tied, it will go into a sudden death. Each kick that is taken, if we do not find a winner, it will go to the next team.
18 yards out, these penalties. There'll be 5 of them for each team, as you said. Actually, New Canaan looks like they will shoot first. It will be the sophomore and NCTV's finest, Irving Dorman. No pressure, Irving, but everyone is watching you.
Irving Dorman, one of the big New Canaan defenders in this game so far. He was an absolute rock, taking many of the defensive free kicks and goal kicks for the team tonight.
And
as he lines up,
as a
hoping to
goalkeeper as well, you certainly have to expect the mind games have to take into part this. Obviously, the goalkeepers and both sides, line up and everything. You expect the goalkeepers may to try and get into their head. But Irving Dorman to start. Penalties here.
The fans all lined up on the close side of the bleachers.
A little bit of a bluff there as he goes to fix the ball. It looks like it'll be a long run up for him. Look like he will take this thing right-footed as Tomas is getting the word from the referee, making sure he doesn't jump off the line. Irving Dorman for New Canaan. Scores! Finishes it wonderfully. Bottom right corner. Keeper went the other way. And New Canaan has a 1-0 lead in these penalties.
Perfect penalty there from Irving Dorman. Beautifully executed. Strong shot to the bottom right corner. Not sure if Luke Tomas had gone that way, if he would have won, if he would have been able to save that.
Great penalty from Dorman to begin this, and it certainly must help that if New Canaan, you're shooting first, which means Stamford always has that pressure to equalize what New Canaan does. And guess who? Leon Intencia, the sophomore, will shoot. Quick run up, and a shot is off the post and out. Alex Walter went the right way, didn't quite get a fingertip on it. He is stoked, and the ball went off the post. He may have gotten a fingertip on it, but it ended up going off the left post and out. And after one round of penalties, it's 1-0 New Canaan. The star player for Stamford cannot convert. That is huge for New Canaan.
How it feels to go from 0 to 0. He will not feel good walking back to his team on the halfway line, missing that penalty. But he has played his heart out so far in this game, and unfortunately that is all he can do. After scoring that first goal about 7 or 8 minutes into the first half.
Arguably the Rams' best player, number 7, Evan Bayless, is second for the Rams. Will be a long run up for him as well. Tomas needs to make a save at one point. His shot is saved with the foot by Tomas. Bayless looked to go right down the middle. Tomas barely dived to his left and just got a boot on it. And they needed a save, as I said, and just like that, they must have heard me because New Canaan cannot double their advantage. As Bayless will walk back, he's a bit frustrated.
0-1 here on penalties for New Canaan, but Stamford taking their second penalty here. Big opportunity to try and equalize.
It'll be Christian Carmona, the senior, who has a goal and assist on the year, but one of the biggest moments of his season. Walter jumping around, trying to go the right way. The penalty here, a slow take, and another save from Walter. Would you believe it?
Massive save from Alex Walter, who steps up big in this penalty shootout so far, as he has the rest of the season. Incredible from him.
Walter dove to his left. The ball was right there, and he punched it all the way out. That ball is all the way in the bushes.
As a goalkeeper, saving 2 penalties, having 2 penalties on the score sheet, that is the greatest feeling in the world, and hopefully he can continue that and be the hero for the Rams this night.
Still 1-0 New Canaan. Into the third set of strikers for both sides will be Tommy Kurz here with a left foot. A quick run up, a left-footed shot. It's a beauty off the crossbar and in. Top corner as he goes, a little bit of acrobatics there. A little backflip. What a goal and a deserved celebration. A quick run up with a left-footed shot, perfectly nestled into the top corner. Nobody's saving that. And
Put him up
Canaan is
against
that
a
much
professional
closer.
goalkeeper. No one's saving that. That was beautiful. Bar down, top corner. Can't get much better than that. Tommy Kurtz will be happy with that result, as will the rest of the New Canaan team.
New Canaan's magic number is 2. But here comes Stamford on a quick penalty. Taking it, it's over the bar! Carlos Chavarria took a penalty very quickly as he is on the ground. He can't believe it as he flew it way over the bar, and now it looks like someone's going to have to go retrieve one of those. And everyone's wondering here in the press box if we have any soccer balls. Walter will happily go retrieve that one. And after 3 penalties for each team, it's 2-0 New Canaan. And if they score here, it should be over.
Massive penalty resting on the captain, senior captain, Doyle Catlin. Everything to play for on this penalty. Massive advantage for New Canaan. Even if they miss this one and Stamford scores, they still have another opportunity to win the game.
Go Doyle. Doyle Catlin, the senior co-captain, one of the biggest kicks of his career, comes up, shoots, and he finishes it home! A wonderful shot in the bottom right corner, and New Canaan is moving on! 2-1 the final on penalties. It's the senior co-captain. What a game for the Rams, who have not really had much to cheer about this year. The final is 3-0 on penalties. Doyle Catlin finishes the job, but what a job from Alex Walter as well. New Canaan is marching on to the FCIAC semifinals to play the Greenwich Cardinals on Friday. They will certainly celebrate this one. What a game.
Absolutely incredible from Alex Walter. Stunning performance from the goalkeeper, coming up with 2 massive saves, as well as keeping the pressure on the striker as they were 2-0 down, and the third shot for the Stamford Black Knights blazed over the bar. Alex Walter will be the hero here for this game, as well as the other 3 New Canaan players that scored their penalties.
New Canaan holds their nerve in the penalty shootout. Alex Walter makes a couple of saves and forces the Black Knights to miss a couple of their shots. But three goals from New Canaan in those penalties. Tommy Kurz scored 1, as well as Doyle Catlin scored the winner. And Irving Dorman did as well to kick it off. But wow, what a game. That's certainly the game of the year for New Canaan as we bring you back inside the booth. A thrilling finish as the New Canaan players go out and celebrate with their home crowd. The girls soccer team, they played earlier today, they are on hand as well. And the senior parents that were obviously worried that their season may not be played due to COVID, they have certainly are ecstatic about this one. Wow, any final thoughts?
What a performance, what a game. I've watched many professional games, and I have always wondered how it felt to commentate on something that big. This was an absolutely incredible game to commentate, Austin.
From start to finish, we once again apologize for not getting you the first couple minutes of this one, but certainly you saw what you needed to. The penalty shootout was everything you needed to see, and we're glad we got you that. What a game. New Canaan marches on to the FCIAC semifinals. They will take on Greenwich, while Stamford's season is unfortunately over. We hopefully you like what you saw today here at NCTV. Another great production by our guys. And once again, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NCTV78, as well as liking and subscribing. We will have at least a couple more games in this playoffs in FCIAC, whether it be girls soccer. We know volleyball has a home game tomorrow. But we want to once again thank our production crew, obviously for Cole Schubert and Austin Platt. Ian Nicholas for his first time on producer. Certainly wasn't easy for him. We didn't make it easy on him, but he survived the test, and we got him what we needed. And obviously McKenna Usher as well for being on camera. We thank you again for watching. What a game. Final score, New Canaan 2, Stamford 1. It required penalty kicks, but the Rams are moving on.